Hello everybody, Tracy Brown here, or good day and evening, depending on when you're watching this, of course. So, again, Tracy Brown, somatic nutrition therapist, an eating disorder, and a attuned eating specialist, I guess we want to call it. So, this week is going to be a little themed around body image and just in general, learning how to. One of my favorite ways to say this, how to know that you know that you know the truth. And for me, that means like in your bones, know that you don't have a bad body. Now, you might not be okay with how your body looks because you may think it's too big, too round, too squishy, too whatever, and all the ways in which those descriptors may feel prejudged in your own mind. But my take on body image healing and just being comfortable being who you are, some of it will be really familiar to you. Some of it will be a little different because I have some different maybe background around this. So just going to jump right in. I don't want to make this video too long because I want people to actually get either really usable, thoughtful information and actionable stuff. I don't want you to have to listen to me drone on for 20 minutes about something because that's about my max too for these kind of videos to watch. I mean, 40 minutes is my max, but 20 is like my happy, like, oh, I can watch this anytime, doing anything kind of thing. And that's what I want these videos to be for you. So anyway, body image. We know that's a complicated issue because the way we see ourselves is this mix of how our experiences with being taken care of are as youngers, as our how we see ourselves mirrored back in the world, and what we've seen to be valuable. And of course, all that means like your surroundings. And so when bodies are made to be neutral, you might see your body as something that does stuff for you and you take care of it and that's about it. If body size is highly valued in some way, whether it's shape, size, hair color, ears, whatever size, all those things are going to take up some meaning for you. So just start from that place of like, think about your own autobiography. You know, how are bodies seen and valued, used or judged or not, is kind of like your starting place. And then you grow up and you see other people have maybe different bodies and different way of dressing bodies and having and using bodies and all those kind of things. That kind of makes up your history. And so you got to kind of start from that place. And just kind of know that, like, you know, I'm not going to repeat myself, but that's where you're starting from. What's a little different for me and what I see is something that, like, you got your own personal history, you have the cultural narrative of, like, it's obvious what kind of bodies that are being pushed on us to think are better. Not that are inherently better. And that's where I want you to know the truth. Is it's not inherently true that thinner bodies are better, that if you have a thinner body, you're happier. Because you go out, all could probably pick out some people that maybe aren't healthy or happy in a thinner body, or who've gone through some crap, and their body size didn't make that better or easier for them, and vice versa. And I also always encourage people to like find people that are in bodies that you wouldn't, if you have a value judgment, let's say on larger bodies, and pick out people that like have larger bodies and, you know, they got some stuff going in their life. Like, I would love to have that relationship, or like feel, you know, they just have this thing, they walk out in the world and people like, they like being around them and whatever. And we know people like that too. And so we know all that can exist, and we want to start to like lift the scales from our eyes to see that. Know that you know the truth. That like inherently smaller isn't better. It doesn't save you from anything. It doesn't save you from hardship or paying your bills or like having healthy, grounded relationships. It doesn't magically make those things happen. That's a part of learning to grow and grow your window of capacity, which is one of my third points. Is that if you have a lot of stored up emotion and sensation in your body, it's really hard to feel comfortable in your own skin. And a lot of times that's where the mismatch and the coupling happens, that feel like it make it difficult to do, let's say, intuitive eating, or to let ourselves eat and let our bodies be where they need to be, because feeling more makes us feel bigger or too much, And it's really not about our body size. It's about like all this seen and heard feeling, sensation, unmet, uncared for circumstance that feels like so big and so much. And when we stop dieting or restricting or binging or purging or whatever, now you're facing it. Like, here it is, I feel it. And when we don't have the resources yet for that, it could feel like, okay, it's just my body, my body's too much, it's too big, I ate too much food, and I'm out of here. And it makes us like feel bad about the body, or bad about our experience of having a body, wanting to actually inhabit or have interoception, which means like feel, like I could feel inside, okay, I can feel my heartbeat, or I can feel my lungs. I can feel that the air in and out. Ooh, that feels like too much. I don't want to go there. So that has a lot to do with if we feel like it means it's something to do with our body size, but it's a coupling. It's not really our body size. It's like, oh, I don't want to feel all this sensation. So there's, those are the things that we contend with as well. You don't necessarily think it's about body image, but it turns out, yeah, that's impacting my ability to see myself accurately, or to challenge my prejudgments that the culture or my family or whatever has taught me. And so it makes us have this like double standard kind of like, well, other people's bodies are okay, but mine can't be. And it's not because your body is any less good enough than somebody else's who have a similar body size or capability. It's inside me, it doesn't feel good or right or safe. And so that kind of skews our perception and puts it in this weird, mismatch. So anyway, that's what I'm trying to say, is that like that has to be addressed too, to improve our body image. And, there's also this thing around with body image that, I always, I have so much room and space, and I hope you all do too, for like, everybody's journey is different. Some people need to like, I think it's really important that everybody cleans up their social media, like I talked about last week. Make sure that you're not, following people that are like constantly trying to like glorify their, thinness and those kind of things, because it's not that special. Even if you worked out 10,000 hours a day in the gym, you just worked out 10,000 hours a day in the gym. That doesn't make your body better. That's just, okay, what it looks like if you have possibly the genetics to look like that with that amount of exercise, because not everybody who works out that much is going to look like that anyway. So, you know what I'm saying? Don't glorify any of that stuff, because it's not, okay, you can get there, great. And I'm not being mean towards people that's what they're doing. I'm just saying. I've been there, done that in my 20s, younger 20s, and it didn't make me a better person or happier. Certainly not any less aware. It really just was like a time suck, to be perfectly honest. And so, I learned from those mistakes too, and I saw the prejudice in that, and I very quickly stopped, because it just made me feel so, honestly, I felt a lot of guilt and some shame about that, and forgave myself, of course, and started to learn my history and where they came from, and what, for me, I thought I would have more power and more like, I would look stronger, those kind of things. Great, I can be physically strong, but that doesn't mean that I'm better. And so I just had to like see it for what it is. So again, I know that you know the truth. That like there's no better body. There's just all of us humans, trying to remember our sense of like we're born, so we're value, like it's inherent that we're supposed to be here, and that there's diversity, and that's inherently the truth. That there's supposed to be diversity. It's okay. There's nothing wrong, and you don't need to change or fix yourself. I do encourage supportiveness toward ourselves, which is eating in a way that helps us have vitality with the best resources, with the resources that we have, and movement, if you choose, to help us, with stamina and health and all those kind of things. So, and dressing in a way that like matches us. I'm a casual kind of person, but some of you may be like, I love fashion and I like to dress myself up. Great, go for it. If that doesn't feel like that's anything, you're not trying to prove that like, prove anything by that. That's just your style. Great. If you're like, I'm pretty casual and this is the way I roll and that feels good to you and it doesn't feel like you're hiding yourself any kind of way, you do that too. That's part of healthy body image. You know who you are, and then you also know, like, I feel like dressing up today, or I feel like dressing down today. And it's all a matter of choice and how you're doing versus trying to be something or to hide yourself. So I think that's all part of it. And so going back to our own personal body image healing journeys is that if it makes you really comfortable to have your feeds full of people who are all different shapes and sizes, and you regularly see that, and people in their swimsuits and underwear and doing all those things, go for that. It makes you feel good. For some of us, it's just like, no, I just need to, I'm good with just, I got it. I'm just accepting that, there's diversity. My body deserves care and respect, and I'm just neutral about this whole thing. And food is food, and bodies are bodies. If that's what gets you really seated and solid in your truth, that's awesome too. So I'm hoping all this was helpful. It's and I haven't gone into the how-tos yet, so I'm going to give you one actionable thing that I really want you to think about doing this week. I'm going to actually give you two. Let me go backwards. Sorry. I'm going to give you two, but I usually try to do one per video. Two is, I want you to know your own personal, your body image autobiography of, how come some things bother you, why is that, how come, and, understand that all that probably had a function to help you survive in your circumstances. Super important. And then two is, what is one way that you could help yourself? Maybe this is just mental right now. Know that you know the truth. And for me, I had to get just a little bit of Tracy. For me, the truth was, it doesn't feel good to really judge myself or others based on body size. It just doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel right. It didn't feel morally right to me. Even if I still struggle with wishing that I had a flatter stomach or something, let's say. I just felt really deep inside that it was just such a time suck and that it wasn't right. And that's how I started to recognize truth. For you, it might be something totally different that softens your heart towards yourself and others. But I want you to think about those two things today. Know your story, and deep down, it might be just a little spark or a seed in your heart. How do you know that you know the truth? That this value judging and that we have towards our own bodies, how do we know maybe what the truth is? So thank you so much for joining. Please share this with people if you feel like it was helpful, beneficial, potent, that other people need to hear this, that somebody that this is just right for them. Whatever, please share it so people know that there's just another way besides body hatred, and that what our circumstances externally from us have offered us as a way to feel better about ourselves. Because it's if changing our bodies is the solution, it seems like there wouldn't be any diet industry, right? So something to think about, that we wouldn't keep running back to it. Not from an emotional perspective of containing emotions. I'm just talking straight up. If I got a smaller body, everybody would think that I'm powerful and strong and nothing bothers me and I got it all together. If that would have already worked, there wouldn't be a gym industry, hardly, except for little, and it wouldn't be, there might be pockets of little boxes, little boxes on the street that provide a space that maybe was safe or accessible for people to do fitnessy type of things, depending on location and climate environment and stuff like that. But it wouldn't be marketed as a place before and afters and all that garbage. That wouldn't exist if it was actually the antidote to our body image and self-esteem woes. It just wouldn't be there. So anyway, I hope this was helpful. Hope you all are doing good, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.